Our life is based more on the thoughts we create than the events we live. If you believe that you do everything right, that you are perfect, and that you will never make mistakes, you are very wrong. Most people think that failing is a bad thing, because failing implies making mistakes and bad decisions. People never show when we have made a mistake. We prefer no one to know about our mistake. In social networks, for example, we always post everything good that happens to us and create a false reality where everything is perfect and no one is wrong. Failing at something can be a huge frustration. It makes you feel bad. You start to think that you don't have the ability to do things well and that you are worthless. Even the fear of failure itself can be a problem, as it prevents us from trying new things. For fear of what others will think if we fail, or what will you think of yourself? The Stoics thought very differently. They saw error as the greatest learning tool a human being can have. They did not reject failure, but neither did they use it to justify themselves. If a Stoic does something wrong, he learns from that mistake and uses that experience to become better. In this video, I am going to talk to you about the importance of failure, because I believe that if we understand properly how to manage our mistakes, we can avoid many frustrations and we can become better. This video aims to help you improve to get the best out of you. And to achieve this, it is necessary to understand that mistakes drive us to improve if we have the right intention and will. Before I start, I would appreciate if you would like the video, because this way you help me to make this philosophy reach more people. If you don't want to miss any video, subscribe and hit the bell. There are two types of people: those who make mistakes because they are mediocre, and those who make mistakes in search of being better. Both think that being wrong is okay. The difference is that the mediocre one uses it to justify himself, since he does not seek to improve. He thinks that he should not feel bad for failing, since everyone fails at some time, and uses that argument to convince himself that failure in itself is a success. The person who makes mistakes in order to become better has a very different mentality. He believes he must learn from the mistake. You ask yourself, why did I fail? What can I do to prevent this from happening again? Is it up to me to make my next attempt a success? Analyze the situation and learn from it. Use that experience to do better next time. It is important to give the right importance to things, not to overestimate what happens to us. Many times we take failures as something excessively negative. Meditate on the seriousness of your mistake, and in most cases you will realize that it is not so serious. Approaching it this way helps to use the mistake roast cases. You will realize that it is not so serious. Approaching it this way helps to constructively. In the words of Seneca, you are unfortunate because you have not suffered adversity. You have spent your life without an opponent, and no one will know what you are capable of, not even you. In relation to Seneca's phrase, think about the lives of the most successful people. None of them achieved success without making mistakes first. The difference between those people and the others is that they use their failure as a springboard to success. Absolutely no one achieves what they set out to do on the first try. There is an example in Japanese culture that shows very well that failure makes us better. Kintsugi is the Japanese art of fixing broken ceramic objects by joining their broken parts with gold. These gold scars that remain on the ceramic object make the object more beautiful and more expensive, despite the fact that it was previously broken. The same thing happens to us with my failure. We are like the broken ceramic vessel when we fail, but if we use that failure as experience to avoid making the same mistake again, we will be better. Just as the ceramic vessel gains value from its golden scar, we must lose the fear of making mistakes. This we must work on with courage, one of the 4 Stoic virtues. You have absolute control over your mind and thoughts. So don't let failure frustrate and block you. Don't let external events dominate you. Think that it is in your power to change and act on them. Forget what does not depend on you. It will prevent you from wasting time trying to change the impossible. Or as Epictetus said, you do not develop courage when everything goes well, but when you survive difficult moments and overcome adversity. Not wanting to make mistakes will not prevent us from making mistakes in the future, but being mentally prepared for failure and learning from it will. We must understand that in life there are no successes without failures, and there are no victories without defeats. In the bad things there is also a positive side, and that is what we have to look for. This video not only helps us to learn to manage our mistakes, it also helps us to learn to understand the mistakes of others. Everyone, without exception, deception makes mistakes. So be understanding with others and try to help those who make mistakes. Teach them to look for the positive side of the mistake, not to fall apart, and to be better in the face of others' mistakes. Support and help instead of criticizing. Surely you would like others to act like that every time you make a mistake. By applying this philosophy to even the smallest things makes failure less painful, as it can be seen as a valuable learning experience. Let mistakes be an opportunity to improve, or let difficulties not be so frightening. Like most things, theory is easier than practice. Strive to apply Stoicism to your life. Be disciplined and don't be afraid to make mistakes. And if you do make a mistake, learn so you don't do it again. The Stoic path is long, but it is worth it. In the words of Seneca, to win without danger is to win without glory. How do you feel about failure? Have you learned a valuable lesson from a past mistake? I look forward to hearing from you in the comments. I hope you find this video useful and that you can face failure with optimism and the desire to learn. Remember that those who never fail, it is because they never try anything new. They never take risks to improve. I encourage you to continue learning about Stoicism. Here are 2 videos full of Stoic wisdom that I'm sure you will enjoy.